one player that needs singling out from the final, one other player as well as Dupont, is Jack Willis.
Yeah.
And I'll bring in Nick here after a 2-week hiatus. Nice to have you back, Nick. How did you feel watching a 9 out of 10 Jack Willis performance in a Champions Cup final? I think it was 27 or 29 tackles I've read.
Yeah. I mean, I think that what's interesting is how he's, we talk about Dupont taking his game on, is how Jack Willis, since he's gone to Toulouse, has taken his game on. Because his work rate was phenomenal. I'm sometimes a little bit not dubious, but some tackle stats have to be taken with a pinch of salt because lots of them are assists and so on. But I don't think that was the case with him. He was skittling people throughout the game, but also his work over the ball. He didn't do as much carrying as he has done in some of Toulouse's previous games because the game was that much tighter. But I think what he contributed in terms of physicality, being able to read the game, be in the right place at the right time, was exceptional. And what's also exceptional, in a stupid sense, is that England will not be incorporating him in their summer tour to New Zealand, and they definitely need him.
And just before we finally move on, we have been calling it for 2 or 3 years now, Leinster breakdown. They're illegal. Matthew Carley didn't target them. He just refereed the breakdown, and they conceded 10 breakdown penalties. And that was accentuated by the fact that Toulouse are, in their own right, a brilliant breakdown team. They made Carley make the decisions. They had Jack Willis, they had Dupont on the day, they had Cross, they had Marchand, they had Mavaka. They just put it there. They knew exactly where the Achilles heel of Leinster was, and always has been. And then they got just reward in the end.
We've obviously had the discussion about overseas players several times, and I'm not going to reopen that door. But from a sort of, given the ruling, and that ruling is obviously unchangeable, that's actually become fairly clear this week. And this is a question to the floor. If you're an England fan, do you want Jack Willis to keep, succeeding, doing well in Toulouse and not playing for England, or do you want to see him come back?
I want to see him do both. Why can't you do both? Why can't you be a brilliant Toulouse player and a brilliant England player?
That wasn't an option.
It is an option.
No,
of course it's an option. It's a route that some people don't want to go down, but it's obviously an option.
Yeah, and they've saddled themselves as well with exceptional circumstances. Exceptional circumstances can be invoked for any number of reasons, and I'd say trying to win a series in New Zealand for the first time is an exceptional circumstance. So use everything that you've got.
Well, I asked that question trying to not open that door and managed to open it wide.
You'll always open it. I sort of agree. I sort of agree with everyone else. I think I read the other day that when Sexton went to racing, they had a rule. Ireland had a rule that he had to play in Ireland as well, and they opened a different rule for him, and he came back and played for Ireland. And I think we shoot ourselves in the foot. I think you look at someone like Willis, how much his game's come on, and he's been in a different environment, had to learn how to play differently. For rugby players, I think you need that. I think if they can go and experience, Kiwis do it. I know they're having a bit of a to do with it at the moment in Japan, but the South Africans do it. And look at them. We want the Gala Premiership to be amazing. We get that, but I think sometimes players going away and seeing how rugby's played in different environments only can help England. And for me, Jack Willis definitely should be in and around that tour. Yeah, we've got some great 7s and 6s and back row in England. We have, but his journey was different from a Wasp point of view and things like that. So I also feel that he's not gone by just out of spite. He's gone because he had to go. So that should be a different rule.
Yeah. From memory, Lee, did James Haskell come back from his foreign travels less or more annoying than he had been before he went?
to be fair, I don't mind him. I don't mind him. He always came back with full of beans. You know what he's like. Always did. So no, but he was the first probably one to actually go and do that. It was. I don't think I ever would have even crossed my mind of things. But fair play to him. He went to New Zealand, Japan, and did what he did, and he experienced different things. His rugby, sort of journey that he had, had loads of different things. Whereas mine was pretty clean. It was Northampton, well, it was Newcastle, Northampton, Bedford. Mine was clean. Whereas some of these players now, and if my kids and stuff went into it, I'd probably encourage them to get away for a little bit and see different sides.